It's survival of the fittest. And you've been transported into a real-life death game where everyone has superpowers, including you. And the only way to escape the game is to kill or die. What do? I'm going to break down the mistakes made, what you should do, and how to beat the death game in Darwin's Game. Kaname is chilling at school when he receives a text from a friend inviting him to play a free-to-play game on his phone called Darwin's Game. Before anyone can say anything, he clicks on the game only to find a snake magically come out of the phone to bite him, causing him to pass out. Later at the school nurse's office, he says he's not feeling too good and decides to head home. On the train, he checks out Darwin's Game a second time and accidentally begins a match with a man dressed in a panda costume. All of a sudden, that very same panda man in real life comes towards him and tries to kill him, forcing Kaname to get off the train and run for his dear life. With no one to help and Kaname in a dead end, he says his prayers until his best friend saves him just in the nick of time. Getting hurt in the process, he and the injured best friend hide from Panda Man when we learn that Darwin's Game is actually real and that there are a few rules to this game. We can't call emergency services during the game. We can only contact the outside world through the phone app itself, and that our general location can become visible to the enemy when we use our phones during a match. And that sucks for Kaname because he accidentally reveals his location to Panda Man when he checks a mysterious text he receives from an unknown girl. This causes Panda Man to come for their throats and forces Kaname to learn the most important rule of all, that in order to survive, we either need to hide until the timer runs out or take out our opponent. By sheer luck and a little bit of skill, but mostly luck, Kaname survives and beats Panda Man, but also loses his best friend in the process. Man, and here I thought the only thing pandas could harm were piles of bamboo. Kaname had the right idea but executed it poorly. We should have used the environment to our advantage more and ran headfirst into crowded areas like busy streets or nearby malls. This may not have stopped Panda Man, but the more people he has to kill in order to get to me might cause enough of the public to panic to where I can either blend in with the fleeing crowds or be saved by nearby on-duty police officers. If the route forbids me from finding any nearby populated areas, then instead of politely panicking to nearby officers, I would take a swing at them and steal their sidearm piece to defend myself, as it's obvious from the encounter Kaname has with that police officer that he's packing heat. Now our friend showing up was a welcome addition, but he's losing blood and is now officially a waste of space. No offense. So I'd say let's leave him and find some nearby drinks from either a vending machine or a nearby store, along with a fire extinguisher. Having the bottles of liquids will allow us to stop Panda Man's camouflage ability by splashing him with the stuff, allowing us to see the now wet outline of his body and the footprints to go along with it. Or if shit hits the fan like now, and thanks to that cop, Panda Man is now armed and invisible, so our safest play will be the fire extinguisher, which we can use by hiding behind a door or an empty room with only one exit. Wait until the door opens by itself, and then blast him in the face with some good old CO2, temporarily blinding his vision, allowing us to knock him out with the fire extinguisher itself and then smashing his brains in. Back at home, Kaname realizes he can order weapons straight from the online store within the app, as a pistol magically appears at his door out of thin air. Perfect timing, as he receives a text from that mysterious girl from before, who asks him to come to meet her in exchange for information about Darwin's Game itself. Kaname then heads to an abandoned warehouse where he meets a girl named Shuka, who tells him that she'll spill the beans only if he proves he's trustworthy by showing her his superpower, or sigil as they call it, which are superpowers that each member in Darwin's Game randomly gets when they join, which could be anything. Bad news for Kaname though, as he doesn't know what the hell she's talking about, which angers Shuka and causes her to challenge Kaname to a death match. Although good thing for Kaname and his quick thinking, as he blinds Shuka with a self-defense flashlight and makes a break for it. In the process, we also get to see what Shuka's powers are, as she terrifyingly chases Kaname around the warehouse. That is, until he somehow unlocks his sigil, which turns out to be the very same pistol he got earlier, creating it from his hands out of thin air. Thanks to Kaname and his smarts, he manages to defeat Shuka and win the match, and he decides to spare her life, which is technically not against the rules. Unfortunately for him, all of this superpower stuff wears Kaname down, and he passes out right after. Ooh, this girl is a firecracker and downright terrifying and awfully rude. So therefore, she must die. Kaname finally revealed his sigil, which looks like the M9 Beretta firearm he ordered from earlier. And from Shuka's speed, she seems to be able to dodge anything we fire at her. This means to close the gap between us, our bullet, and her sweet face, we need to blind her or surprise her, because this will ensure she will be unable to effectively dodge our attacks. I would cut the power the same way Kaname did, except hide between the boxes and cargo within the warehouse, forcing Shuka to come closer towards us. Her being blinded will result in her being unable to know from which direction the bullet comes from, and therefore will be unable to use her super quick reflexes to dodge it. And we only need one well-timed shot. So I say let's empty the mag into the girl and see what happens. Later, Kaname wakes up to an revealing Shuka, who convinces Kaname to start a clan with her within the game, joining forces basically. As they head for a walk, she reveals to Kaname more information about the game. Winning matches gives you points that you can use to spend on safe shelters, food, weapons, and real-life cash. Although you cannot talk about Darwin's game in public or risk being teleported from the game. During their timeout, Kaname's phone also gets stolen by a young spiky-haired guy who also informs us that we can't play the game with someone else's phone. Although our phone can get destroyed by anyone, meaning if that happens, this would result in the player being unable to buy or seek safe shelter, as well as never know when they're being battled. They also wouldn't be able to search or communicate through text or call with anyone, leaving them isolated. You'd basically be royally screwed. But thankfully, this thief has got some manners, as spiky-haired guy challenges Kaname the good old-fashioned way, with a death match. And of course, Kaname, like before, stumbles along, getting lucky right at the end yet again by using his last-minute sigil to stun spiky-haired guy, almost destroying his phone and winning the match, right before they are teleported to join an event known as the Treasure Hunt game. Okay, spiky-haired guy is young and ambitious, I'll give him that. And let's thank him for not using his sigil powers on us, because this just makes it that much easier. Since we can't rely on our sigil powers to work effectively, we must rely on our body's anatomy, namely our fists and his groin. Softer areas like the throat, eyes, and groin work wonders for most people if you hit them hard enough. And I'm willing to bet my career that it'll work on this teenage punk. I'm going to focus on closing the gap between us and spiky-haired dude, therefore we should consider getting punched a couple of times, forcing spiky-haired dude to enter our arm's lengths to keep him distracted and be within our striking distance. Then right after, I would aim for a shot straight to his moneymakers as hard as I can, with an uppercut to his nether regions. Using our legs would be preferable and would allow us to drive more force towards the area. Then aim for the area between spiky-haired dude's belly button and Johnson, as this will almost certainly cause him to hunch forward, whether it's for a brief second or for longer, likely causing him to fall over if he's weak enough. Then we can use our sigil as well, and then I'd tase him repeatedly for good measure, then crush his throat with my foot. What? There's no rules in Fight Club. Kaname suddenly appears at a hotel just in time for the treasure hunt game as he gets instructions on the game itself. Find the hidden treasure located around Shibuya and get as many points as possible within the 24-hour limit. Killing players while in the game will not grant you any deathmatch points, and all players must collect at least 3 rings before the game ends or they die. Kaname, running out of the room, bumps into Machine Gun Guy as he gets hunted around the hotel floor, trapped as the only way out is through the elevators. Kaname finally gets cornered and is forced to give up whatever rings he has on him, and Machine Gun Guy lets him live and leaves in the elevator. Right after, he meets Smart Girl, who tells him that the elevator is a trap set up by someone we'll call Plant Guy because he has plant powers. And Smart Girl suggests that they team up in order to survive, and Kaname agrees. We also learn Smart Girl's power is the ability to know the location and movement of all matter in the world, which means she can basically dodge anything that comes at her, or fire any gun and know the movement of the bullet 100%. Suddenly, they run into Machine Gun Guy again and other gang members who look to be under Plant Guy's mind control, as they begin to chase down Kaname and Smart Girl. Both of them try to hide and destroy all the hotel floor cameras, as they have a feeling Plant Guy is watching, and they manage to hide in a hotel room. As the two are hunted down relentlessly by Plant Guy's minions, Kaname and Smart Girl hatch a plan and order some grenades off of the phone's in-game app, and then begin getting to work. Smart Girl distracts the minions with an explosion as Kaname uses the fire extinguisher rope in the hotel hallway to climb down past the floor set with Plant Guy's traps, and he reaches the bottom floor safely. I'm starting to like Smart Girl, and she seems like a valuable member to have in terms of information gathering and reconnaissance. Although she kinda dropped the ball here a little bit. I would use the in-game shop to order me a box of 12 grenades, 2 flashbangs, and 2 ropes. If we can have things delivered straight to our feet almost magically, we should have used the in-game store more effectively. We could have explored more what the in-game shop had to offer, and perhaps have bought other items that could have helped us in this situation. There's nowhere to go, and Machine Gun Guy here seems to be packing the biggest weapon, sporting a Russian RPD light machine gun. And those things don't mess around, so we really can't fight them head-on effectively. So once again, the element of surprise will be our biggest edge. I would plant a box of 6 grenades -1 for us, as we plant 1 box in the corner of each of the hotel's 2 staircases, where we know Plant Guy's minions will be coming from. Then I'd have Kaname to camp out on one staircase, while having Smart Girl camp out on the other one. Once the 2 minions come down between each of the staircases, I toss a flashbang, blinding them, then toss a single grenade towards each of the 2 boxes, catching the minions by surprise and setting off a massive chain explosion within each of the hotel staircases, killing all of the minions in the process. Afterward, all we need to do is simply rappel down the window with our ropes. No fuss. Kaname on the ground floor suddenly runs into Plant Guy and has no choice but to battle him face to face. This is when he realizes that unless he does something different, he will soon die, as Plant Guy clearly outranks him in power and endurance. But all of a sudden, he lucks out as he discovers a new trick to his sigil power, which is, if he cuts his weapon's lifespan shorter, he can effectively increase the internal pressure of his bullet rounds, increasing their firepower by an additional 10%. This 10% increase in power proves to be effective as Kaname manages to break through Plant Guy's shield and defeats another opponent yet again, this time with a little less luck and a little more skill. Alright, we finally learned how to control our powers and figured out some tricks. Now we're pretty much cornered and outmatched, so I think the safest option would be to, run. Kaname has been using his powers for a while, and he has already stated that he's exhausted, so realistically, I doubt we'd have enough endurance to keep going on for much longer, which is why we need some space and time to think. I would hide within one of the many hiding spots in the hotel, then I would load up on items such as grenades, flashbangs, even a knife, although I would see if we could use our power to create them all at once. But if this doesn't work, then during our few moments of peace and quiet, I would use my time to check the in-game app store and see just what else we could get, and if we could find specialty ammunition. Our RPD machine gun uses 7.62 ammunition, so I would look in the store for specialty rounds like high explosive incendiary rounds, or even an actual full metal jacket round, designed to pierce through and take out Plant Guy's armor. Checkmate, buddy. After the match, Kaname decides to keep Plant Man alive. Him and Smart Girl recruit him and Machine Gun Guy from earlier to form an alliance, as there's a rumor that an even bigger threat will be coming to the hotel very soon, namely the famous and ruthless 8th Clan, who are looking to win Darwin's game and kill whoever and however many people it takes to achieve their goals. Kaname, along with Machine Gun Guy, then head off to find Shuka, who sends them a mysterious help text from the subway. On the way there, they run into a tiny little human who has ice powers, we'll call her Elsa, and Kaname dives into the water-filled subway to find a helpless Shuka. Once saved, they find out that it was that strange little girl Elsa who trapped Shuka, and thanks to Elsa's split personality, she has 2 powers as part of her sigil, one being her power to manipulate bodies of water, and the other the power of ice. Luckily for Elsa, Shuka decides to show some mercy because of her split personality and spare Elsa's life for almost killing her. And so they end up recruiting her into their alliance, just as they find out from Smart Girl that the rings everybody's collecting are not the real treasure. So Kaname and the group set off to find Smart Girl along with the real treasure, while Plant Guy stays behind at the hotel to take on part of the 8th Clan. But as their bad luck would have it, they reach the subway only to find that Smart Girl has been taken hostage by some of the members of the 8th Clan. Wasting no time, Kaname and his group battle out 8th Clan as Shuka saves Smart Girl, who then goes to try and locate the real treasure. Sadly for Machine Gun Guy, during the battle, his hand gets chopped off by the leader of the 8th Clan, Dreadlocks Guy. Kaname is then forced to bluff his way into saving him, just as he, thanks to Smart Girl, finds the real treasure in a locker room right next to everybody. This results in Kaname and his group winning the match and saving Machine Gun Guy, as the treasure hunt game officially ends. Now in this situation, we finally have our team of superheroes. And so this is where some better leadership from Kaname would have come in handy. For one, our group should not be split up entirely, but rather have taken cover nearby as one unit. I then ordered Smart Girl to place her sights on Dreadlock's guy from a distance and wait for my orders. Dreadlock Guy's teleportation powers make him fast and nimble, and so we want to try and injure him or prevent him from teleporting altogether first, before taking him out. In this case, our biggest powerhouse, believe it or not, is Elsa, as she's one of the few who can take on Dreadlock's guy head-on. I would order Shuka to take out the majority of grunts with her powers, as she does so with ease. Then I'd have Elsa get her water from the nearby train bathrooms to take out the rest of the henchmen. From here, we have two options. 1. Elsa floods the metro and takes out everybody, including Dreadlock's guy. Elsa would need to create a sphere wall made of water around Dreadlock's guy up to 20 meters thick in width and height, preventing Dreadlock's guy's teleportation abilities from teleporting him out of the water prison. As we have seen from his attacks, the furthest Dreadlock's guy can teleport is up to 10 meters. So, if our water sphere is larger in width and height, then we could effectively capture him. I would then scare the shit out of Elsa and have her evil twin come out to play, and turn that entire sphere of water into a giant ice ball prison, freezing and capturing Dreadlock's guy entirely. The second option would be to have Elsa take out the henchman and Dreadlock's guy with a giant wave of water, filling up the subway. Then, like a wave on a beach, wash Dreadlock's guy right up near Smart Girl, and she takes him out with her bolt-action sniper rifle. The confusion from being tossed around from a giant water wave and overwhelmed should be enough to distract Dreadlock's guy from teleporting for at least a few seconds, which we can use to our advantage and kill him. 2 months later, after the competition, Kaname uses his connections and prize money to get himself in shape by training with another group called the Danjiao Boxing Club, where they train Kaname and surgically fix Machine Gun Guy's hand. This is also when Kaname looks into making an alliance with the club itself. However, the leader of Danjiao Boxing Club, Mr. Muscles, says that he must first fight Kaname to see if he's worthy of forming an alliance with. Kaname follows his wishes and challenges him to a friendly match. But of course, Mr. Muscles doesn't take it easy on Kaname and almost beats him without even using his sigil power. But luckily, Kaname narrowly defeats Mr. Muscles, winning the match and successfully securing an alliance with Danjiao Boxing Club. Hey, I like Mr. Muscles. He's arguably one of the best opponents in the game and someone I definitely don't want to mess with, but since we have to, I would have liked to end the match sooner than Kaname did by cheating a little bit. I would have used the time before the match to excuse myself to the restroom to order a little bit of everything from the in-game shop, like grenades, flashbangs, flamethrowers, whatever I can get my hands on. This way we could have saved up all of our sigil power for the match, as even before the match started, it's obvious we're going to need all of our strength. Since we last saw Kaname, he has definitely picked up some moves, and if we take inventory, we now have knives, grenades, flashbangs, an RPD machine gun, an M9 pistol, and a machete, and even a Scorpion submachine gun. That is freaking awesome. Although I would have begun the match by attacking Mr. Muscles with any one of my guns. I would have waited like Kaname did until I tricked Mr. Muscles into revealing to me his power with a grenade. I would have then, as my last trick, halved my firearm's lifespan in order to increase my power output by 10%, like Kaname did with Plant Guy earlier. This would have either taken Mr. Muscles completely out or forced him to use his power to defend himself. If this happened, then I would have used this brief moment to flashbang him and then close the distance with my machete to his throat. As of this point, we've only attacked him from afar up until now, and maybe we could stab his eye if we can't cut through his flesh and at least blind him a little bit. Kaname's victory is suddenly cut short as Long Hair Girl shows up just in the nick of time to knock everybody out and kidnaps Kaname. Later, he wakes up in the limo of the long-haired girl, Darwin's game's #1 player, who we find out is part of a family of generational assassins. Scared Kaname has little choice, until we find out that Shuka and Kaname's clan follow close by on Kaname's tail. Fearful for their lives, he makes a deal with long-haired girl. The deal being, if she can successfully escape from them without killing anyone, then Kaname will do as she requests. Thankfully, this kid's got himself a good teammate, as Shuka calls upon long-haired girl, and they battle it out on the roof of their cars, along with the rest of Kaname's team, as they manage to stop long-haired girl's car in time, making this terrifying assassin lose the bet against Kaname, forcing long-haired girl to join forces with them. There was no reason to fight as long as they did when the entire wager of Kaname's bet with long-haired girl rested on their transportation. If we stop long-haired girl's car from driving away, then how will she escape? And if she doesn't manage to successfully escape, then that means we'd win the bet. So this really means this whole time that they should have been focusing on the tires of her car almost exclusively. As Shuka battles it out with long-haired girl and keeps her distracted, I would order Smart Girl to take position with her sniper rifle atop the roof of their Humvee, and then using Smart Girl's sigil power of knowing the positioning of all matter in the world, she'd be able to aim and perfectly position her shot right into the rear wheel of long-haired girl's limo, disabling the car entirely. That's assuming their car doesn't have run-on flat tires, which are tires that are self-supporting and ones that you can continue driving on for miles after they are punctured. If this was the case, then no worries. All we'd have to do is simply tail long-haired girl's car until their tire finally gives out. Or we could simply love tap right into them Burnout style until they simply crash and die in a ball of beautiful flames. Later on at the apartment, the worst news arrives at their doorstep. Kaname's closest school friend has been kidnapped by the 8th clan, who are holding him hostage. And if Kaname wants to save him, he'll have to go find him himself. We then get word from Smart Girl that she's found out where the 8th clan's base is and where they are holding Kaname's friend. And with no contact from long-haired girl or available support from their friends over at Danjiao Boxing Club, Kaname's group leaves to go save his friend without any reinforcements. Later, they arrive at the warehouse only to find the gang in the midst of fighting with the police, and they use this opportunity to try and help Kaname's friend. The team splits up as Kaname and Machine Gun Guy enter the back of the warehouse, only to find Kaname's friend dead and packaged up all neatly in a box. This being the last straw, Kaname loses it and ends up killing the rest of the 8th clan's grunts and soldiers, along with Machine Gun Guy, as Shuka defeats Dreadlocks Guy using some new tricks up her sleeve. Kaname had his tactics down pat but could have used some finessing. Sending a phone down to her friend to let him join Darwin's game and become the ultimate distraction was genius. But unfortunately, we couldn't do anything to save him as he was already dead the moment he entered that warehouse. Now we know from Smart Girl's scouting that there are around 15 members around that warehouse, but truly I wouldn't even concern myself with what's going on with most of them, as there's only one member worthy enough that we should kill. Going in at close range was ballsy but unnecessary. I would have ordered Smart Girl to take the vantage point from the roof, as there are no guards up there, and she'll have a bird's eye view of the whole warehouse. Then I'd order Kaname and Machine Gun Guy to go in big through the back door and create all sorts of firepower noise. With a solid distraction in place and Dreadlocks Guy is surely distracted, I'd command Smart Girl to fire a round straight into his sweet, sweet face. Smart Girl with her long range and her sigil power means she'll be our most accurate shooter. And if we go the ways of Joe Exotic and employ some fancier looking ammunition, like the 338 Lapua Magnum, designed to penetrate 5 layers of military body armor at a stunning 1,000 meters, and still be able to kill you in the process. But also, I'd probably get Smart Girl to equip a muzzle brake or something like that, since she's like 3'5" and this round has quite the kick. With the entirety of the 8th clan finished, Kaname finally kills the human stump called Dreadlocks Guy by putting a bullet right through his gray matter, as he looks on into the distance, ashamed of his friend's death, making it his mission to find the game master of this living hell and put an end to Darwin's game once and for all, along with the help of his new clan and now also family. And if you're into family like this guy, then I highly suggest you subscribe for dear life, comment down below, let us know what you like, what you didn't like. But before all that, I want to introduce you to our family. Check out the video guy, Al, he's a wizard. Woo, he's up there, he's pretty cool. Check out Dom, he likes pens, I don't know why. On behalf of everyone from How to Beat Anime, thank you so much for watching our videos and we love the support. Let's get to 100,000 subscribers. Oh my gosh, it's so freaking exciting. Woo! Let's do it. See ya.